Thank you very much. Ms. Garnett, you authored a opinion piece with another individual about whistleblowers, and I think in New York law, compelling people to come forward. Is that correct?
That's correct, Senator.
In the first paragraph, you says, this is in 2019, I think, over the past few weeks, the country has been riveted by the news of a whistleblower within the intelligence community who filed a formal complaint alleging wrongdoing by President Trump. In turn, we have watched the whistleblower defamed by the president, his allies, even accused of treason despite his having meticulously followed the lawful process to report possible criminal conduct. This took remarkable courage. There was no legal obligation to report it. There were serious risks to career, reputation, even personal safety for doing so. Was that your view of Mr. Vitterman?
Yes, Senator, I stand by what I wrote in that op-ed.
Are you aware that whistleblowers have come forward from the IRS challenging the impartiality of the Hunter Biden investigation?
Yes, I've read about that in the newspaper.
Okay. So would your kind words extend to them?
Yes, I think, Senator, as I've said repeatedly when I was Commissioner of the New York City Department of Investigation, that having lawful channels for government employees to come forward to report what they believe is wrongful, fraudulent, corrupt conduct is vitally important to honest government. And I would extend that view to any whistleblower, yes.
Ms. Hall, you worked with Mr. Weiss, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
What time periods did you work for him?
I was hired in that office by former United States Attorney Oberle in 2011. Mr. Weiss was in the office in a career position at that time, and I left the office in 2019 when I took the job as a United States magistrate judge.
In 2019, 2018, were you aware of the investigation of Hunter Biden by Mr. Weiss?
Sitting here today, I can't remember if I knew that there was an investigation at that time. I've since learned in the news that the investigation originated while I was still at the office, but I had no involvement in that investigation while I was at the office.
Was there any chatter in the office about this investigation at all?
Not that I recall, Senator.
Okay, so you know nothing about it?
I know nothing about this investigation.
Are you aware of recent reports that on October the 7th, 2022, two whistleblowers claimed to have been in attendance at a meeting with Mr. Weiss where he indicated that the decision of how to charge and where to charge Hunter Biden was not his. It was other people had made that decision.
I am aware from reading the newspaper that there are whistleblowers that have come forward.
Given what you know about Mr. Weiss, how does that strike you?
I appreciate the question, Senator. The Code of Conduct for United States federal judges prohibits me from commenting on any pending case, pending before any court, and so I don't feel that it'd be appropriate for me to comment on anything regarding a pending case. I can tell you that I have no involvement in that case.
Well, Ms. Garnett, based on your view of whistleblowers, all of us should take these allegations seriously. Do you agree?
Yes, Senator. I would say in my experience as almost 2 decades as a prosecutor and investigator that my own approach would not to be to take the word of any whistleblower, informant, cooperating witness at face value and look for corroboration, but I definitely, as I said in my previous answer.
And if you found corroboration, what does that mean to you?
I'm sorry, Senator?
If you found corroboration of what they said, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think that any investigator or prosecutor would view corroboration as important to assessing the credibility of witnesses.
Ms. Hall, are you aware that one of the whistleblowers actually sent an email about the meeting to other people in real time, identifying the substance of the allegation on the same day it was made?
I was not aware of that, Senator.
Ms. Garnett, would you consider that corroboration?
I don't know the facts of this case, Senator, but I would, in my experience as a prosecutor, contemporaneous statements are important in assessing witnesses' credibility, yes.
Thank you. As Mahalachik, is that right?
Mahalchik, yes,
Yeah,
Senator.
thank you. So you were a magistrate judge. The Spainer case, did I say that, Graham Spainer?
Yes.
He was the former president of Penn State. He was convicted by state court, and you granted a habeas petition. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, Senator. He petitioned the court to seeking his conviction to be set aside and a new trial granted due to a jury instruction that was given by the state court, and that was his request.
And you granted that request?
After careful review of the law related to that habeas petition and the arguments made by the parties, I determined that the jury instruction that was given by the state court was in violation of the petitioner's due process, yes.
Did the Third Circuit overrule your decision?
Yes, they did.
How many times have you been overruled by higher courts?
In my decade on the bench, Senator, I have issued over 1,500 written opinions and memorandum decisions and reports and recommendations in civil matters, and issued.
Are all of those reviewed by higher courts?
And then, in addition to that, the over 1,000 criminal orders and decisions on release and detention, and they are all subject to review by either the district court or
were they reviewed?
They were not all reviewed because the parties didn't always seek review of them. And
so I've been told that you've been reversed 31 times. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Of those 31, I believe at least 2/3 of them were only in part.
Yeah. So you were criticized by the court for not understanding the 11th Amendment applied to cities. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there are not many of us here, so I'll just try to wrap it up. The 11th Amendment applied to cities, not just states. Do you remember that case?
I don't know specifically which case you're referring to, Senator.
Okay. Do you remember a case where the court criticized you for confusing sovereign immunity and qualified immunity, the Potter City case?
I don't remember that specific case either, Senator.
Okay, thank you.